Hello everyone, this is Nana for Tangled Time Arts, and today we are looking at day 16 of the Zentangle Advent Calendar. We've been following along this is the 16th day, and I'm specifically following the one by MZ Creates, and you can find the information in the description if you'd like to ask for a download. Day 16 features the Tangle GiGi by Annie Taylor, and it literally starts with a capital printed G, and that's repeated. And we end up with something like this after we've filled in the ink there. So it's a very organic type of tangle and very versatile, and you can fit the G's into probably any space to fill that space. So that's what we are going to be working on today. All right, so for today's project, you'll need a regular white Zentangle tile or computer paper or a sketchbook, a black pen. I'm using the Apprentice pen, a number 2 pencil, a tortillon, and I also, because I don't have a gray pen or marker with me today, I am using a silver Crayola colored pencil, and then I have a variety of gel pens for added color. So we're going to start with our pencil, and we are just going to put in our 4 dots. And then we're going to put in the line. We're going to connect those dots. That brings us back to where we started. And then I'm going to just switch to my black pen. And since I'm using this to fill in a space, I'm kind of visualizing kind of like a little hill here. We're just trying something a little different today, so we'll see if this works. So I'm going to kind of visualize a little hill, and I'm going to start with a capital letter G, just like that. And then we're going to fit in another capital letter G, just like that. So right under the dash there, you're going to start your second one, touch the other G and come around and finish off like that. And try to remember to make this a little longer than you normally would. That helps a little bit. And then we just continue making the G's. As you can see, it kind of goes in a diagonal, and it just naturally does that. I've been playing around with this for a little bit, and it just seems to naturally go that way. All right. And then for your next row of G's, you're going to start right under where the 2 previous G's meet, and you're going to put in another G, come around, and your line is going to connect with the next G. And you're going to just keep going, tucking in the next ones. And I'm using a little bit of an upward slant sometimes to get it to fit in there. Your G's don't always have to be the same size. Now, I kind of would like another one up here. So I'm going to work backwards a little bit and put the line in. and then put in a backwards C shape. All right, we'll go to our next row here. I'm going to tuck in another one here, working backwards a little bit. It takes a little bit of practice to fit them in, but it's a very interesting tangle to work with. And once I have kind of a little triangle shape here, I'm just going to kind of follow that. And make like a little hill. And then I'm also going to ink in these areas. There's not much to ink in. They're kind of a small area. And I'm just following randomly along. I'm not going in any particular order. And I'm going to ink these areas into. So it's a very simple tangle, and it kind of leaves you wondering, like, why didn't I think of that? Once I have all those inked in, I think I got them all. Then I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to make a little tree on our hill here. And I don't know if this is a tangle or not, but I'm using basically just Y shapes. So I've got a Y here, but I want my tree kind of bent over, kind of like a windswept look. And I'm just going to be using Y shapes to kind of make my tree. And this is something that I learned to do many, many years ago before I even knew about Zentangle. So if someone out there knows that this is a tangle, please let me know so I can include the information in the description. But I've kind of been doing this for a long time. So you make a Y and then another Y and another Y. You're just adding the Ys on there. It kind of forms a tree shape. And you're getting smaller and smaller as you go. And you don't always have to do a Y. You could just have a twig by itself. And then we're going to finish inking this in. This is just something very simple to get a little tree. But this is kind of like a windswept tree, and you'll see why in a minute. So we're just kind of having a little fun today because GiGi is one of those tangles that you could fill in any shape. So instead of a flower shape, I thought we'd make a little hill. And then I think I will add a little twig there. Okay. And then I'm going to take, I'm using the silver Crayola, but you might be using another brand of colored pencil, or a light gray marker would work well too. And we're going to do sand swirl. So for sand swirl, you want to start with a random stem. And I'm just going to put one there. Like that, just a random stem. And then we are just simply going to aura around that stem. Just like that. Because it's silver, I can't do that any darker. So hopefully you can see. And we're just making as many auras to fill the space as we can. When we get to the tree area, you can lift up your pencil, air draw over to the other side, and then keep going. So I'm using the sand swirl to kind of represent wind for our windswept look. And then we could have another stem coming out here. And we're going to aura around that as well. And that would probably continue over here. Move that over a little bit. And sand swirl is from, let's see, Karry Heun. Karry Heun. So we just continue to fill that in. I'm going to just finish this area here. So we have our sand swirl in there. We kind of need something to make it a little brighter. So I am going to do a border or a frame of ink. And this kind of takes us back to day one when we made the cursive E shapes. I'm going to start on the bottom here. So I'm going to start in the corner, just making an E shape. And when we do ink, you want to, even though it's cursive, you want to make sure you have plenty of space between the E's. going to continue around. For this one, you definitely need to be rotating your tile. And so for eek, we go back around, but from the outside this time. I'm going to start, maybe I'll start right in the center here. So we're going to make our E's in between our original E's. And that's why we needed to leave the space so that we can fit these E's in between. And it looks simple, but it does take a little bit of practice. And then connect those lines. So now we're back at the beginning, and then I'm going to go back in with my silver pencil and just kind of finish off, make sure that's connecting to the border. And that ought to do it. I'm not going to do a lot of shading with that, but I am going to do a little bit of shading with the GiGi. And for me, I'm just going to add the shading with my pencil on the bottom of each G. And then I'm going to take the tortillon and blend that out. There. Maybe run this along the bottom there, like that. All right, and then I'd like to add a little bit of color. So I have 4 different colors. You could use colored pencils, but I have gel pens. So I have red, green, blue, and yellow. And we're going to turn the eek into Christmas lights. And I think I will start with the inner row. And so I'm going to start with my red pen in the corner. red, and then it would be red, green, blue, and yellow, and then back to red. So we're just working our way around. And you might have a different number of E's going around, and that's totally fine because I didn't measure it out. And I'm just working on the inside right now. So now I'm going to take the green. We had red, so this would be green. And don't worry if it gets out of order, it all works out in the end. Okay, and then I'm going to take the blue. And so I've got red, green, now I'm at blue. Red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. Red, green, and then I'm back to where I started. And then I'll take the yellow. Red, green, blue, yellow. All right, so then we're right back there. And this time we're going to start with the yellow. And let's see, between the red and the green, we put a yellow. So now we're working on the outside row. And between the green and the blue, we have a red. So between the green and the blue, we have the red. And just take your time and slowly work your way around. And let's see, we'll see how this works out over here. Between the blue and the yellow, we have green. And then I think that's going to leave us with, what does that leave us with? We did, so we need our blue. Blue, and I'm gonna put the blue in here. So we have our little Christmas lights. And then I thought for a little bit of whimsy, we could add an ornament, just one ornament to our tree. I don't know where we want to add it, but maybe like right here, a little cap on there, and make it round. And I'm going to make my little ornament red, but you could make it any color you'd like. Or you could put a leaf on there. And that is our whimsical little windswept tree. I'm going to fit my initials on here. And I'm just going to tuck my initials in kind of right here. I have a little bit of space. So I'm going to put those in there. And then I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to put my name. And this was the 16th. The event was Advent Tangles 2023, day 16. And we have our featured tangle was GiGi by Annie Taylor. And then we had Swirl. Let me make sure I have the spelling of the name right. So Swirl by Karry Heun. That's Karry with a Karry Heun, Heun. And then we had Eek by Zentangle headquarters. So I'll put ZHQ for Zentangle headquarters. And then we had our tree made of the Y shapes. And like I said, I learned to do that before, like years and years and years ago before Zentangle, but it might also be a tangle. I'll have to do a little more research. If I find something, I'll put it in the description. So this is our cute little whimsical windswept tree. I hope you had fun with this project. It's different from the other ones. But the GiGi is very versatile. You can try fitting it into any shape really and using it to fill that shape. You can make flowers, circles, anything you can think of. It's been fun working out this project with you and exploring this very simple tangle. Thank you for joining me, and if this was helpful to you, I hope you'll subscribe. And thank you also for joining me as we discover your inner artist. Have a good day. Love you guys. Bye-bye.